what is your thoughts on like the confidence versus like practice of singing? Because that was something like my grandmother told me when I was like, one of my grandmothers told me when I was like 5, 6, something like, you can't sing, you know? And that was like, all right, that was like what kind of like made me self-conscious about singing in front, still do it, right? You know, and
You've got the anatomy to sing because you know, you've got a nice deep voice and
a big mouth.
It's
very
true.
Big mouth.
No, but it's true because like Steven Tyler, Mick Jagger. I mean, honestly, it's like the difference between a ukulele and a guitar. The bigger the opening, the more sound is going to come out.
Yeah.
I will not claim to be a good singer. Maybe 1 out of like 50 times, you know, I can like sing a song that I like, and I will be happy with it sounding good. You know, I don't know about everyone else, but I like to think I'm pretty objective. Now, other times I'll like just let it go and like kind of being fun and silly, and you know. But I even hear that about like Dolly Parton. That her, I don't know if she's married or boyfriend
or what. Her husband
married a long time.
Yeah, they're
died,
like almost like a common law sort of.
I think so, yeah.
But he can't stand her singing, and it's not like you know, he's not trying to say that she's a bad singer necessarily, even though like to him, like some of it's like she's not always going to hit all the right notes, and again, maybe that's, you know, me speaking out of turn.
Well, that's him saying he's focused on the technical thing. That's like saying you're not an artist because you can't paint a portrait. You know, that doesn't mean that you're
kind of like the Bob Dylan. You know, not a great singer,
Bob
but
Dylan, one of the greatest
you
know, songwriters of all time, and he wasn't given the gift of a voice like Whitney Houston, right? But I can't imagine Whitney Houston writing lyrics like Bob Dylan, right?
Neither could Bob Dylan, though. Bob Dylan is like looked back and like, and it's kind of like this whole like kind of you kind of touch on like almost being like an antenna, sort of like receiving these ideas like with the calling, right? And it's kind of similar to like the lyrics, I think.
It's how you write songs. There's been times when I've written a song and I don't even know where it came from, and it's like, wow. Or done something. I
didn't know it was this profound. Right? Yeah.
I'm not a songwriter, but
not yet. But or you know, but I think it's I think we just kind of it's like the pet rock theory, you know, like so I'm really showing you how old I am. You probably don't even know what
pet rocks are. We had those in school.
It's like so ridiculous. Everybody had to have a pet rock, and it just took off. They made, I don't know how millions and millions of dollars, probably. Who knows how much money they made on these?
More than Bean Babies or Bean.
Yeah, pet rocks like little or puka shells, right?
Yeah.
Used to, when I lived in Hawaii, these were shells that were on the ground. You know, and somebody decided to make a necklace out of it.
Or pearls.
It's whatever people think is like, you know, it's like go buy this bag. It's a $20,000 purse because it's
the brand.
I think that's where it comes in. Like, you've got to know, you've got to have some type of idea yourself.
Right.
You can't just be tossed to and fro by what society's going to tell you. Otherwise, you're going to spend all your money on useless stuff that you're never going to use. Because that's what society wants you to do. Marketing, that's what marketing is. Right? Because that's how people make money, is by marketing. Oh, I got to have that. Then you have it, you stick it in your closet, you never use it. So it's...
Yeah, that's interesting. I never thought about songwriting like that, but it is like in the same way I've heard like YouTube creators talk about once they get traction or like a lot more viewership with one type of video than they do maybe with videos that they've traditionally liked producing. They're like, oh, well, this is clearly what the audience wants. So at the behest of what they would like to do, they kind of give that up for, hey, this is what the market is demanding. And there is like, hey, how much do I want to bring in money, you know, like commercialize my art versus like really just make the art for me. And I don't think there's really one way or the other that you have to go about it, because I think it can work in both ways. There's a famous example now, given like all of this was like Ponzi scheme isn't the right word, but you know, just like BS, for lack of a better way to put it, the NFTs, if either of you remember.
Yeah.
And there's this like super famous artist, Beeple, that wasn't ever worried about commercializing his artwork, but literally for 12 years straight, every single day would release a new like digital piece of artwork. So using like a Photoshop type of tool, or like the 3D modeling and animation tools that like Brian will use. Every single day, even if it's like 11:30 p.m. at night, I have half an hour, I'm committing to getting a piece of artwork out there. And then he was just totally committed from like the artistic perspective, in a way not many people are willing to do when there's no money on the line. But then when the NFT craze came along, he sold all of like that 12 years of work for 130 something $million. Where,
oh wow!
Yeah,
wow.
Where like no one else like was able to really capitalize it on the NFT trend in any sort of meaningful way, other than like the people that were just trying to make a quick buck. And given he was really, and he said, "Hey, I have the opportunity to make a quick buck. I'm going to do that." But it wasn't like from the get-go, I'm going to commit to 12 years of my life, or I know there's someone that's going to be on the other end of it with $100 million check or whatever.
Well, he might have done it because he needed to do it. Like, it's like you play bass in various mediums, and you're not doing it for the money. You're doing it because you feel like, obviously, you made major money in corporate, right? So it's like this guy, he probably felt the need. You can't be a poser either. Like,
right.
I couldn't do that. Like Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran writes so many songs to get the one hit, right?
Right.
And his one hit is so amazing, but people don't realize he might have written 400 songs to get that one hit.
Right.
And it's the same thing, but I'm not willing to do that.
Right.
I don't want to do it bad enough to do that. Like, you might say, I don't want to sing bad enough to go take voice lessons, or it depends. You still have to know who you are.
Right.
You can't be just following. That's, I guess, what I was trying to get with the pet rock theory. You can't just be following the pet rock because, oh boy, because that's what everybody does. Oh, right. I'm going to go over here now. It's almost like cattle. We keep just going.
And then you isolate the people that were, actually originally like a band that was more so into, the Black Keys, if you're familiar.
Oh, yeah, they were good.
Yeah, and they started off a lot more like garage bandy, and again, their story is absolutely fantastic. I mean, neither of them knew how to play either instrument. They just knew kind of like a grungy, bluesy sound that they were looking for, and just started working towards it. And
no bass, it's just the guitar and the drums.
Yeah, guitar and drums. Yeah. They were basically just talking about like just getting out there, trying it, and then over time, they've gotten kind of more pop rocky and then, there's now this like huge like original fan group that kind of feel isolated because they kind of, I don't want to say they chase what working, but they all, I guess there's that argument to be made. They chased what was working, but also maybe they just evolved over time where like what they were able to produce and what they were interested in producing, and I guess it's kind of hard to tell from the outside looking in, but I think what we're both getting at is it's really like be your own person, and like when there's overlap, great, but don't sacrifice, like doing it for you just because of the views, because of the listens, because of the money. I mean, again, sometimes trade-offs have to be made, but
I think that if we were talking in themes for our discussion here today, our conversation, I guess is what this is, it's how you evolve. Like, I got to a point where I just couldn't play those same 5 songs anymore in a band. I just couldn't do it anymore. And I had evolved. Yep. No amount of money was going to get me to play the top suggested songs of all time. It didn't mean I didn't like them. I just couldn't do it anymore. I think you have to, I got to a point where I didn't want to be in charge anymore. I didn't want to be, running a company or running a nonprofit. I'm evolving, and I'm evolving with my age. I'm evolving and gracefully, I'd like to think gracefully, getting older and accepting and seeing where I fit in this next stage of my life. For me, it's all about balance and quality of life. You're stressing me out. I don't no, not
Okay.
not
Yeah.
Brian.
I was
No,
like,
no,
Brian,
no.
yeah.
It's like somebody will come to
Yeah.
me and I think you're stressing me out. I don't think I can help you. I
Yeah.
don't think I want to be a part of that.
And you still showed up today. Thank you.
Well, this is awesome. This has been so much fun. But I think we all, and I think that you are such a testament to that. That you have evolved. I've seen so many people retire and almost become miserable.
Yeah.
Right.
Like they don't know what to do with their lives. And look at you. You grew your hair out.
Yeah,
You got
yeah.
to get to the base.
August will be 6 years. 6 years since I retired, and I tell people this, not one single day has gone by. I've told you this many times,
Yeah.
right? And you've heard me say this
Yeah,
here.
I love it, though.
Not
Yeah.
one single day has gone by where I wish I was back, just because I did that, and to the point where I had done it so much, traveling and schmoozing with clients, I was media and advertising sales, that
wonderful.
kind of thing. Yeah. And the company was bought. It was a family-owned business that got sold to a corporate group, and then they 2 years later sold it, and it was being sold left and right. And
That's exciting.
the client base, though, I felt like clients weren't being taken care of. Not the way we built we built them one at a time, bring them in and win their you know how it is. You win their confidence, their trust, and you deliver for them, and they come back and want more of what you have. And I was just so burned out from it. So my mom also had Parkinson's, and she was in the last stages.
Oh,
so
I'm
I got
so
to,
sorry.
yeah, I got to quit working. And one of the things I'm most thankful for and proud of is that I spent the first 2 years of my retirement helping my father, care for my mom. And it was a full time once that's a degenerative disease, and it gets to a point where you either have to go into a home, or it just takes so much. So I got to really help my parents out a bunch, and that makes me feel really good. That's one of the best things I've ever done, was to help my mother and dad during that time. So
No regrets.
no regrets at all. I was ready to quit, and I did, and I'm not in the situation where I have to work now. And it's a two-edged sword, because some days, if you don't have to get, I could stay in bed all day and no one's going to miss me or whatever. I don't have any commitments and whatnot. And a lot of people are like, I would love to have that. And it is nice, but if you can, too much of anything can be bad. So.
Everything in moderation, including moderation.
And there's two
Including moderation,
there's two
yeah.
sides to every coin. I've never heard that, and I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Two sides. I love saying this. Two sides to every coin. Two ways of looking at everything. It's a mighty thin slice of ham that only has one side. So there's two sides to everything. You would probably agree with that.
Every analogy is a food analogy, which
That's good. That's good. I'm a foodie.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good
That's
thing.
one
And I